It's the official NRL Fantasy Podcast.
Hello and welcome. It is another Teamlist Tuesday podcast on the official NRL Fantasy Podcast. I'm Paulie G. Luke Seifert back.
Paulie, we're ready to do it. 2 games down.
They've been asking for you.
Have they?
Online.
Well, that's flattering.
And Erik Wells, thanks for making the trip back down. Really appreciate it.
Got to finish out the round.
He's taking the tough carries, mate.
Yeah.
Sleeves are up.
No,
Let's
he's
go.
done well. Both of you back in business. So, what do we think of Vegas?
Yeah, good. Good. It was a long day, but again, a bit like Floggy coming down doing the podcast, a tough carry, but it was good games.
NRL games were
I was
good watch, though, as far as our fantasy scores.
To be honest,
were.
I was quite shocked. I think we talked about before the Raiders-Warriors game, I thought Raiders were a massive shout, and we're going to probably talk about it a bit more, but I thought Hosking and the Horsburgh ambush was definitely on, and it definitely was.
And Starling.
Yeah. Again, we had a few disappointments.
And Tamale.
Yeah, and we had the bad with the good. So we had Metcalf, unfortunately. But
yeah. So the Warriors disappointed. So Fisher Harris still got a good score, but if you got on Barnett as a pod of those other mids, you were very disappointed. And Metcalf, I think we were all on him.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have been looping him.
I've got a bit of a prediction. I think this week's going to be a lot of questions on the Thursday show of do we rage trade on
Metcalf? Too early.
It's already locked in.
But ask me a week from now. You know.
Yeah.
But too early right this second.
Yeah. Again, I think the Warriors were pretty. Yeah, they were ambushed from the get-go, really, to be honest.
Raiders were very impressive.
Raiders outstanding. Yeah. If you missed on those guys we mentioned earlier, are you rushing any of them in?
Tamale.
What about Hosking?
I think it's going to be easy, just purely from the price, getting Tamale in, and wing fullbacks are fairly light for the cheapies this year, so it makes sense that a lot of people are going to be looking, like I don't have any wing fullback cover, so it's a no-brainer.
See, I'd be tempted.
I agree with you, Paulie. Our friend of the show, Longy, he said the same sort of thing. I think he wanted to do a breakdown of a couple of the players, but he said the same thing. Like, I can see people that don't want to get him, but at the same time, if you do want to get him, you're not going to resist it because I said to you on weekend, his pedigree's there, right? Like he got what did he get exactly? 60 what?
He got
65.
65, right on the button, right? He got 65. And he had no attacking stats.
Just one try.
But they went left all day.
Highest tackle count for the game, and he was only on there for 66 minutes.
But that's the pedigree of him, though, right? He's like the Preston of the world, right? If he gets one try and a few tackle busts, mate, his score goes crazy.
At some point this year, he's going to crack the ton.
Yeah, well, he's done it again. The pedigree's there.
So
he's done it
to me,
before.
I'd pick Hosking first because you don't want to miss that big score, and I'd go Tamale next because I think you're still going to get him at a good price.
Okay.
The following week.
I'd probably flip it purely because of what Floggy said. Like, everyone's dying for a wing fullback centre cover.
And I'd get Horse as well.
Yeah.
If you've got those two guys, but not Horse, I'd get Horse. But Starling, I'd just say, tip your cap to those that got him. If you didn't, don't chase.
Well, unfortunately, again, if you didn't get him, like friend of the show, Christopher, he went the Fisher Harris route instead of Horsburgh. But again, it's kind of like a bit of salt in the wound in regards to Joe Tarpanay doing that shoulder charge. So again, we'll wait and see what's going on.
Horse.
That opens up for Horse.
Even though if you don't have any of them,
it's a lot of minutes.
You can't get all three.
Pending
but
what happens
I'd have
with his
Horse as still a buy, an important buy.
Yeah.
And we should mention Savage is going to, we think, cop the suspension.
Yeah, we wait and see. But what I'm saying, it kind of broke that way, right? Because Horse is kind of like the forgotten player, and now he's come back this year. He looks lighter, and he's doing the Cameron Murray role, right? He started out at lock, he moved a little bit around, and then he came off a little bit, had that quick rest, came back on.
If you did wait one more week on Tamale, at least you'd see everyone available because Hopoate's back, Savage is out.
Yeah. Well, on 2 weeks as well, you've also got the Knights buying round 4. So a lot of people have got Ponga, a lot of people have Marju. So that's a wing fullback you're going to miss.
Yeah,
so
don't take both of those guys.
Yeah, but if you do,
might have one.
That's when you're going to probably have to look at it.
Yeah, I'm all in on the Tamale train. I'm glad. It's probably my best move so far. I'm glad I took him.
It was great to watch.
Yeah.
That was.
Again. You guys just said it.
Yeah.
He's the next Marju for me.
Well, and he was one pass away from a try as well. Like that was most
tackle bust machine. And he should have scored in that first half on the left.
And the kick he put forward. Remember, he could have had a try assist.
Yeah. Well, if he doesn't double pump, he would have scored in the corner because he was unmarked.
Yeah.
So, he's a must-have.
A lot to like.
Yep.
Panthers, Sharks. Obviously, Isaiah,
Well,
people that got him will be very happy.
We talked
captained him.
we talked about it all summer, right? What did we say?
I think-
People like, some people are shout out of the show, friend of the show, old Ross Lapthorne. Didn't start with Yo. That's a shame. He proved everyone wrong again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did very well.
He just can't.
And it's one less play you have to worry about, right? If you've got Yo for the year, it's just that spot is easy, set and forget. Even Cleary can be up and down, but not Yo.
No.
There's no yo-yoing with Yo.
He's just too consistent, man. Again, when he scores a try, you pretty much put your hands up. You don't have him. You go, oh well, he's getting a 75, 80 now.
When he scored that try, poor old Ross.
Yeah, poor old Ross. So I'm glad I stuck to my guns this year and kept him.
AFB.
Yep.
That was a great game.
Yeah. No,
And he'll lead that Sharks pack. That was obvious.
Very similar to your take, what you said about the Warriors game with Barnett. His PPM's so good. You're happy with him. You know what I mean? You get what you pay for. You know what I mean?
That's a nice pod for people that went on AP because we didn't have a lot of Sharks options.
Yeah.
Jack Cole was someone a few, including myself, jumped on in the emergencies.
Oh, I put him in
a slow burn.
I put him in my loop this week, so I'm not actually playing him. But
No, me neither.
But it's good to just store him away, get a bit of cash up on him, and then see what we're going to do with him.
Do you think he'll outscore the likes of Sandon Smith and Matt Duffy in the long run?
I think
Like
on the long run?
Yeah, do you think he'll make more money than those guys?
Good question. Sandon Smith, he could possibly do, but I don't know. I think the one I'm very high on is the guy from the Cowboys, Duffy.
Because Sandon Smith, it's going to be, however this round one goes, he's going to set the tone for Sandon Smith and his cash, and that's going to be the telling factor this first game. Because if he starts slow and gets a 20, 30, his cash and break even, he's just going to sit and plateau early, and it's going to have to get a big score to go back down again.
They could end up very similar, Cole and Smith.
Yeah.
If you've got both, I don't know, I feel like it's one or the other. I think if you went with Cole, I'd probably leave Smith because I'd be worried they're too similar, and then you've got two guys in your emergencies that you're not quite happy enough to start with.
Yeah. If you've got Metcalf and you've got Cole, Duffy, Sandon Smith, I know we love our halves, but that's a lot of halves.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, if you started Cleary, that's Munster.
Well, again, he's a slim reaper coming up, right, Sunday, isn't he? Because I think he's in for a big score. Unfortunately, I don't have him, so.
And people are worried about Metcalf, but I think at least you've got to watch the next 6 games. At least finish the round.
But you also I'm a big believer in. I don't think you can overreact after one game, like that, especially that Vegas game. It takes so much.
The whole round isn't over. What if 3 other guys do worse than Metcalf?
That's right. Well, that's what we just
Smith,
like you two just said. If the other 3 halves do just as bad, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What if we're all getting on guys like Terrell May? What if he comes off after 25?
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
I get it.
let's at least save it for next
finish
week.
the round.
Let's finish the
save it
round.
for the
Look
next
at it then.
podcast.
Yeah.
Got to have plenty to talk about.
Okay.
And is there guys, speaking of this round, because how many did you end up in your 21? How many players do you know the exact amount? Because I believe I ended up with 7, right? I had 3 Panthers.
Oh, wow.
I had 3 Raiders.
Yep.
And I had Metcalf.
Yeah, so I had Yo, Cole, Hosking, Horsburgh, Tamale, and Cleary. 6.
Yeah.
I had 6, I'm pretty sure.
Cole?
No, I didn't play Cole, sorry.
In your 21.
Oh, yeah, 6, yeah.
So you've got 7.
Yeah. I thought
See,
Cole
I think I was a bit lighter.
No, you only got 6.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, I was a bit lighter. So Hosking, Horse, Yo, Cleary, Metcalf.
Yeah.
And that's
No Tamale.
no Tamale. So
And Yo and Cleary?
Yeah, Yo, Cleary in that. So
3
you
Raiders.
You loaded up.
3 Raiders, 2 Panthers,
2 Panthers, no Jack Cole.
no Jack Cole,
And Metcalf?
and Metcalf.
Yeah, okay.
So you had
Yeah,
6.
6, sorry, 6.
And you
No,
and
you're
I
right.
had
So I
7.
didn't include Metcalf.
In the 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it means you've got either 14 or 15 to play with, which I think is going to be similar, right, to most people out there.
Yeah, most people,
So
yeah.
how are you balancing that out? Because that's a third gone in 2 of the 8 games. So we're already slim pickings.
Especially Yo and Cleary, there's
And
a
big
big
money.
chunk. Yeah, there's a big chunk out. And Hosking, 600k, that's still a fair chunk.
So is Ponga the next highest guy on that list, who hasn't already been hasn't already played.
Probably.
Yeah, I think so. In terms of ownership, I think
Probably,
he's,
yeah.
A combination of ownership and price, like popularity.
Probably,
and the rest of it.
that and Hart, obviously.
Yeah,
Haas
Haas.
as well.
Yeah,
For
Haas.
those who didn't take Yo.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Haas, Walsh, all those guys, right?
I still think Ponga's going to own it, have higher ownership.
Yeah, unfortunately
than
for you, based off that team list, I think Knights will be very, very, very
Dylan
very strong
Lucas
top.
is another guy that we're recommending.
Yeah.
So there's a few guys in there that you've probably got to find a way to make sure they're in your remaining 14 or 15.
Round 4 bye. That's the only problem.
So my advice would be take Lucas and then one of Ponga, Amaju, or Best.
So I've only got Lucas.
It's probably not another night. Gagai's a good fantasy player, but his price is not.
Someone might appear in the middles there. You just don't know.
If they didn't have the early buy, they could be like the Raiders. You could load up Ponga, Marjorie, Best, Lucas.
Yeah.
You could take all four.
Yeah.
And KPP's priced.
Well,
he's a draft
he's the
player.
other one.
Fletcher Sharp.
He's the other
There's
one.
guys that are priced, but
Yeah, I was very impressed with Sharp. But is it going to correlate to fantasy or not? I'm not sure. We'll see.
Yeah.
So.
are there other players you're looking at? Safar, Jack Bird.
Yep. Well,
say.
I'm pretty vocal on my Bird thing. As my rule, I said to you guys over the weekend, I think I'd rather take, even if Bird's on the bench, I'd rather take 50 minutes at lock over a centre like the Toyas of the world or the guys that play them instead. That's just the way I'm going to play it this week.
In terms of a scoring spot, right?
Yeah, scoring spot.
You have those guys in the 20.
I'm not a
18,
massive
21.
fan of having two 250Ks on my centres because you get anywhere from 20 to 70 points combined.
Yep.
Really.
And do you think, one more question before we get to the team lists,
Yep.
is Connor Watson still a must?
I don't think he's a must because of what you're going to relate to with the team list. But I did see friend of the show's a bit frustrated with him too, Longy. I think he's been trying to work around his team to kind of fit the other guys you talked about, get them in instead of him.
Right, save a lot of money.
But I still would like to see this week. Again, everyone's writing him off, but I still think Watson's got the pedigree. But the question's going to be, like Baldwin said, like Longy said, is he going to stay there?
Yeah.
Because he's the guy that's going to kind of break the glass in case of emergency. Like if there's one HIA, he gets moved.
Like
and then Zach Tocker-Clay comes on, then he's ruined.
Yeah, let's talk team lists.
Yeah.
Because the Roosters Broncos Thursday night, they're first up. Watson's starting against Corey Pakes, who's a much cheaper option, right? But then these two pesky number 14s, Docker Clay and Billy Walters.
I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
Is going to make it tricky. We will know,
Yeah.
right? Because it's first up. So the teams will be finalised at 7. That will help us because things could change, right? There's people in.
Okay, snap poll for Paulie G. Is that the final 17?
It never is.
But what would you predict they get a couple of big boys
Well,
in?
the Roosters, Makahesi Makata was the one for me at jumper 22. Come over from Parramatta, was one of those guys who didn't play big minutes there, but always looked good when he was on the field.
Yeah.
Could he find a way, especially with Leniu out, into that 17? Just because at the moment, Wong, Steep and Fiketti, none of them are big blokes. They're all edges that are kind of learning to play in the middle. And it's fine to play small ball, right? But is Robbo, he's playing against Madge. Madge is the king of the big men. Haas, Carrigan, Hetherington, or a start. And then when
Willison
Jensen's going to come off the bench. Like Jensen was in the extended origin squad last year.
It's very much.
He can't get in the starting.
You got some big boppers on that Brisbane team too.
So it's so Makatoa could come in, but then, as you said, if Watson goes down, Radley can still cover at hooker. So there's options for Robbo. He doesn't have to play Docker Clay. Now, in defence of Docker Clay, the past 24 months, he's stepped up every time he's had to.
Yeah.
He's played his heart out. He's given 100%. But this Brisbane team, I was already worried about Corey Pakes' PPM.
Yeah.
Now Billy Walters.
If that's the team, I don't think you can take a risk this week now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
I'm more interested in Gashevsky.
Oh, really? I'm more interested. I'm more interested in the Kobe, mate. I think Kobe's the one to go to now.
Great Jack.
Yeah, I think Kobe. If anyone from Brisbane you're interested in, I think it's Kobe.
I've got them both at the moment.
Both. Okay.
because I just think Jack's underpriced.
I mean, he's so low price, so there's nowhere really to go but up. But I mean, Piakura comes to mind at this exact time last year.
Yeah.
We all jumped on low price.
I'm glad you said it.
Same number as well.
Unfortunately, that team that took the field on Vegas when these two played each other, that Roosters team, full credit, like with all due credit, isn't the same as the team that suited up in Vegas round 1 last year when these two met. So Gashevsky's going to have a lot of upside that Piakura didn't have. And Piakura got a head knock.
He's the ultimate Hail Mary, isn't he, really? Like,
but he's only two.
I get it. I'm just saying, like, you're either going to come on here next week and go, oh, it's a master stroke, or everyone's going to be like, yep, he's a trap as usual, trap city, trap city.
Even one game, like, I don't think you can write him off.
I get it, but I can see why people would not be interested
starting
in
him. He's in my emergencies.
Okay.
But I'm thinking if it's out of him or Sandon Smith to make me money.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just thinking purely who's going to make me the most cash out of my emergencies.
Again, we'll have to wait and see. But I think the two people that I fancy in this one are Nafua White now because of what happened to Leniu and Kobe.
But also the cheap edge spot, there really isn't many this year as well.
No.
Talagi didn't leave much to be too impressed about that second game, but can understand why people might go there.
Oh, here we go. So we'll get Paulie dim the lights a bit here. Let's get the main event out of the way, you two.
There's a few injuries. They play the Knights. So West Tigers team first.
The floor is yours, gentlemen. Let's go.
Heath Mason at fullback, which we expected because Dream Bull are not right for round 1. Apasai Coruscant suspended, so we knew that Talon Silva probably didn't know Tristan Hope would come on the bench.
Didn't see that coming at all.
There's a couple of didn't see comings.
And Jack Bird.
I think we did predict that, I think.
And Alex Twall. So Twall starts, Bird bench.
Well, that's how they did that second. That's
Bird
how they
scored
did
a try, got a good fantasy score.
Yeah.
I think he'll come
Can he
on.
replicate?
I think he'll come on a lot early this game, though.
Does he come on for Seyfarth?
It's very possible.
Does that risk your Seyfarth move?
Well, Jack Bird's played everywhere. That's the problem. I mean, he's played everywhere, so technically he can come on anywhere.
Sure. He was playing a roving role.
Benji's got some trick up his sleeve with this because what he's doing is he's picked all his big boys straight away.
Yeah.
He's either going to soften the game up straight away and then basically 25 minutes in bring all these ball players on, or like you said, Seyfarth, which would be absolute. That'd be with the DPP coming out for him. It'd be it'd be brutal.
Yeah.
But again, I can't rule it out, Paulie, because we just don't know how Benji's going to play this. Because how are Newcastle going to attack Tigers with this team they've got, with their back line?
You're right.
It's going to be the Dylan Lucas show. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of short
left
balls.
Side, so Fletcher Sharp,
Yeah.
Kalen Ponga, Marshu, Best, Lucas. Again,
that left side stacked. Mate.
If the Knights didn't have this early bye, I'd be recommending 4 Knights.
Yeah.
I'd say start all of them. Best, Marju, Lucas and Ponga, because I think they're all value. I think they can all make money.
You know,
look at that other side though. No Toa, so we've missed out on Toa, so there's a few broken hearts there. So Fatape and Skelton on the same side.
We don't know who's going to play on the right, but Fatape is more likely because Dewey played a lot of left in the pre-season game.
Yeah.
And obviously, whether it's
Taruga
or Skelton on the right, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Those guys aren't noted as strong defenders.
Yeah.
So it's a lot, and we assume that Galvin's going to move to the right, or do you think that Luai will move to the right?
That's what I was asking you boys on the weekend. That's the big. Again, there's so many unknowns with Benji's team. I don't know what he's going to do yet.
So I just think I'm going Bradman Best personally.
Yeah,
he scored 99 the last time he played.
That goes back. That goes back to my chat about Hosking. The pedigree's there. You're not betting. You're not gambling or saying that you don't know what they are.
582k just seems too cheap.
You know what he can prove. You know what I mean. You know what he's so.
And it's a centre spot. They're always tricky year on year. They're always tricky. You've got him locked in, right?
I'm just going to lay an egg about that game, or a little bit of a future tip.
An Easter egg?
Well, Easter egg, whatever it's called. I don't know, a little fortune cookie. Wouldn't it be funny, after all the chat about Metcalf, that it actually ends up being Fletcher Sharp as that running 5'8" that we probably should have had?
Yeah, well, that's another guy.
I can see that happening this week where he goes mental.
Yeah, I can see
He gets a 55 centimetre and goes, everyone just dumps straight Metcalf. With the buys coming, but they go Metcalf to him.
He could get a 75.
Yeah, because he looked sensational in the pre-season.
But also,
Just backing up.
We've all got so many halves, so it doesn't matter. So the problem with the Knights buy is the wing fullback spot, because that's where people are loaded up.
And
on
the Knights have
more
got
than
all
one
these
player.
guys that
Right.
can play wing fullback. And the other one is the Titans, and they don't play
I'm just leaving that here now for this. We can go back to it on the show and bring it back.
We've got to keep going through these team lists. Dolphins v the Rabbitohs. So the latest is, and we record this at 4 p.m. right, and the teams come out on a Tuesday. Goes up as soon as we can afterwards. When you're listening to this, you may already know the answer. We don't know the answer, but we feel like it's going to get played. Whether they have to move the game, whether they have to
Bring your
whatever,
surfboard, basically.
Whatever they're going to do, it sounds like they're going to try and make sure it fits within this round, which means fantasy-wise, we don't need to panic, because there was a moment there where we were like, well, hang on, what if it's another bye, essentially, for these two teams? Now, I don't have any Dolphins. Do you guys have any Dolphins?
I wanted Gilbert.
Gilbert and Finifuiaki are the big two ownership.
I'm very interested in Gilbert. I'm very interested in Hubner.
Finifuiaki named in the second row with Max Plath.
Yeah.
So we don't know Lemuelu on the bench. So we don't know how the minutes are going to play out. It's good in a way. We can watch the Dolphins. We can see what Christian Wolf, new coach, wants to do. Wayne Bennett back to Souths. Well, he's picked a Wayne Bennett favourite, hasn't he, at lock? Lachlan Hubner. Even if Hubner ends up switching to the bench, him and Talis Duncan might swap. I think Hubner still gets big minutes.
Well, everyone got excited about, I'm going to talk about Gilbert, but everyone got excited about the fact that Gilbert got named standalone captain, right? So the question is, does that mean he plays more or less?
Well, right, and we were discussing before, so if he does go off the field, who's the guy? But I look at that bench, you've got Nichols and Stone, both have played there as well. You've also got... I just feel like that team could be juggled in about 5 different directions.
We need to watch.
Need to wait and see. But unfortunately, it won't be. Don't think there's much ball movement in this game under the current conditions.
Unless it moves to essentially a South's home game.
Yeah. Well, that's the best. Change the ball out to a water polo ball. Or something.
That's the best chance they got. And the Rabbitohs fans will be happy because guys like Campbell Graham and Cody Walker named, right? Because they were. Yeah. That's huge.
Cody changed everything.
And Jamie Humphries, I was so impressed.
Yeah, he was very good.
And in that lineup, I could, if you had the right makeup of your team, I could definitely suggest Jamie Humphries. And you talk about the Metcalf call. Well, Humphries is the guy who could turn out being what we hoped Metcalf was going to be.
You've just got the Dodd question.
Yeah,
that's the problem. And at this stage, how many question marks do we now have?
And you also look at Galvin last year. Galvin last year, we got
Sullivan on the bench too.
We ran the same story, and guess who was on the bench for the Tigers last year with Galvin?
I'm just saying, but there's a big reason they're there.
And then Mamazelos.
Well,
so does Sullivan go into dummy half? He's played a bit of dummy half.
That's what I'm saying. He's obviously going to be break the glass in case, he's going to be the utility option.
Will get enough minutes.
Yeah, he will. I think you just got to, again, like you said, repeating yourself, but just wait and see, play it and see what happens. But I think the next game for Souths is going to be the telling one.
Because Dodd's back.
Because he's going to be back, and then they're going to go, okay, do we put Humphries out? Because Humphries right now is their best utility player.
Yes.
And he also might be their best 7. So that's the problem.
He's one of their best players.
That's true. Well, that's the opposite of what
they got a lot of options. Because Cody Walker could go back to 7. Jack White
but a lot of options translates to that's very annoying for us fantasy players because we can't get any consistency.
So probably
with what we want.
watch Humphries this week. You might be Metcalfing to Humphries next week.
Yeah.
We're wanting more trades already, boys. We haven't even kicked off yet.
Dragons see the Bulldogs Saturday 5:30. This is a great clash, to have in round one.
Again,
two teams that they're going to be bringing their A game against each other. There's no love lost.
Well, we talked about it, right? Raiders with the Vegas game. Ricky just siege mentality. This is what Dragons are doing.
Yeah.
Everyone's written them off for the year, and all of a sudden they've looked good. Because what's their profile? Just work. They've recruited
and the bench.
They've just recruited all working players. Just all guys who just go.
The bench says that Couchman and DeBellin are going to get big minutes, and Ryan Couchman off the bench might even get big minutes. I think either Couchman brother at their current cost could really be good value.
Toby's dual as well, so that's automatic value for yourself in the get-go. But there is still a couple of names missing from there as well. So, but little back to bench though. So what does that mean for Cook?
I think Cook will have a big game.
So do I. I think he's going to have a big year.
Jacob Preston, I really like for the Bulldogs, predicted to get 69. Kurt Mann.
Well, I like Floggy's man, Kurt Mann. I think he flagged that on the weekend. He thinks he could be the guy going forward.
Bench, very small bench.
That's why I think he's going to be. I'm trying to keep an eye out for those guys that a lot of people miss, and he's the one that I've tried to hold on, and I'm still there. It's just that's my point of difference.
Back yourself,
player.
mate. I reckon it's a good shout. I think it's a real good shout.
Your team, Manly, plays later in the evening against the Cowboys. So Tom Duffy and Jackson Purdue both named, but some other interesting ones, Valea and Burns. I don't know if that many people were predicting that. And then Sam McIntyre at prop with no Tomalolo.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty shocking. Like, again, we're seeing a real pattern this round one, aren't we? Not many big sides. There's a lot of just real mobile teams. So if you don't get that possession, you're in a bit of trouble. Like you're gonna get rolled.
Jazz Tavanga at hooker.
Well, we flagged that last week, so he'll be hooker mid now, right?
Because not a lot of Manly players we just fantasy relevant.
We missed it in the trial though because he was a late scratching. He had to take off.
But he was going to play 9 at the press.
So that's what we wanted. And look,
so Croker's out the first 4 weeks, I believe. So you got a month to look at it.
John Bateman, what are you thinking?
I think if you've got him now, roll with it and see how it is. And see if you get 2022 Bateman or you get 2023 Bateman, or do you get 2024 Bateman? That's the question. Like which version are you going to get?
Hopefully 2019 Bateman.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, that was 6 years ago.
That's right.
But probably just wait and see.
Shay, just watch him.
I'll throw something to you. Just on our previous conversation, because a lot of people, myself included, were planning on going Watson to starting hooker. Because now we're looking at maybe not going that direction, what do we think about Tavega?
Yeah, you could save money.
Well, that's where you get.
It's just a 4 week.
I'm going to borrow Paulie's line again. It's just hard to know what the rotations are yet because they've got Waddell there too. It's hard to see. Like I can see him playing big minutes though.
Yeah. Could be a masterstroke. A lot of people got on Starling and they're happy. So
I think there'll be a lot
of
of points in that game.
Yeah,
I really do.
And then the Storm Eels, well, this was the shock of the round that Mitch Moses isn't playing, because normally we hear these things in advance, but this came out of nowhere.
Well, the Pappenhausen news, I find it's usually over or under. We never get the real inside news on Pappenhausen until he's named on the paper.
Well, The big thing you got to say about this game is if you don't have Munster and you couldn't squeeze him in, this is the game you're dreading because this. I'm telling you.
So he'll be running at Volt.
Respectfully, a guy of Munster's calibre at his price, he could legit get a monster score this week. This could be a big
score. Melbourne are the round one, master.
And then they got the bye next week. Everyone's going to go, get him in, and it's going to be like, oh no, yeah.
And then Parramatta, we'll be watching Riley Smith. You liked him, I liked him in the pre-season.
I think Riles has seen something pretty quick there and gone, we need to get him.
Jack Williams on the edge, that was a strange
one. I think it's back to what Floggy was saying about Kautoga, right? He might be injured, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then Kelma Tuolangi. Yeah. I still think he could be a decent buy.
Well, he's the Gozzy. He's the
Gajewski, right?
Gajewski, absolutely. So that's the battle this weekend.
Moses.
I'll tell you one other thing too about this game as well. If you went the Hopgood train like Longy was talking about, he could legit get his score in 70 tackles here. Legit, he's going to be tackling a lot.
And for those, which is pretty much everyone who have Israel Yongi, if he has a Metcalf game,
no, not panicking. No,
don't panic.
No,
because this is a tougher matchup.
They're playing arguably the best team in the comp.
Yeah,
who hasn't lost in 20 years in round one.
That's right.
We wanted to see
away from home
with your halfback out.
With your halfback out.
That's the main thing is we wanted to see that Moses
an Australian halfback out. So if Yongi has a 21, it's not his fault.
Everyone,
plenty of time.
Please don't send him massive complaints to Paulie on the Thursday show. Go, I kept Longy, man.
Yeah.
So. Don't.
Well done, Luke. Eric,
Paulie.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
There is still time to play fantasy. Go to fantasy.nrl.com. Download the fantasy app today to play. And of course, if you've missed anything, you can listen back to this official podcast wherever you get your podcasts from, or watch back on YouTube. We're on YouTube if you're listening. So get on there, nrl.com, and the questions show Thursday. I don't know. You guys might even get on.
Oh, who knows?
Who knows,
Continue
right?
the
Say his
chat.
Well, we're
name.
trying to get the boxes set up so we can actually add another guest.
Say his name and he appears.
So anyway, join us Thursday for that, so you can answer live questions, which you'll also find on the podcast afterwards from 6:30 to 7 p.m. And we've got a game this Thursday, so it's going to be even more exciting. Just launches you into the week, right?
That's it. That's
All right.
it.
We'll see you then.